All right. Hello, everyone. This is OJ here coming to you with another episode of Crypto Corner. This is episode 79. So, yeah, almost 80 episodes this year. And have been talking about a lot of different topics in this video podcast. A lot of the times we're talking about news and things like that. Today is not really going to be news. I will be looking at what is currently happening with crypto and how can you prepare for the next bull run, because I am actually expecting that things are really about to happen. I'm not saying it will be happening over the next few days or anything as soon as that, but we are, in almost out of that bear market. And with the approaching of the end of the year, Christmas and all of that, we know that usually crypto performs really well around Christmas, and even after that we will have halvening and everything. So we should actually get ready. And interestingly, I also noticed that the altcoins are also picking up. The altcoins had quite a beating over the last year and a half, more even than a year and a half, and the Bitcoin dominance was growing a lot lately, and they couldn't really keep up. But things are starting to change. So this is why I'm dedicating this video on how to prepare for the next bull run, how the importance of diversifying, because even though Bitcoin is the king, Bitcoin is really where the majority of your crypto capital should be put in. This is what I'm personally doing, and don't forget, this is not exactly a financial advice, but this is me sharing what I'm doing and what I believe in and what works for me. So to everyone who is joining me here live, thank you guys for jumping in. I know that I didn't really announce this very much in advance, so hopefully you managed to get my post on Facebook and everything, so that you can jump in. And if you notice anything in terms of sound or any other problems, please let me know in the chat. I will be keeping an eye on the chat just so that I'm aware if something is going wrong. This is live, so anything could happen. Hopefully I'm not really gonna get any errors. I have had problems with the connection in the past, so hopefully this time it's actually quite all right, and we're not gonna get any lagging or anything like that. So let me share my screen and show you what basically I'm seeing and what I'm talking about. First of all, we're seeing quite a lot of green on the markets, something that we haven't seen in a while. And it's not just green today. This is the 24 hours, but we're seeing in the last 7 days and the last 30 days. So good news for everyone who is already, having a lot of these different coins. Bitcoin is only 0.11% up, but it is at $9,400, which is quite significant jump from last week. It's right now it's 15%. It was even more at some point, and I would say that we're probably out of the threat of going down. We were going down, and at some point we went as low as 7,236. Many people were even talking about it going below the 7,000, even going to the 6,000. I really didn't believe that would happen, and I still don't believe it. I mean, it's not like we are definitely out of this downtrend. Currently we managed to break out, and we formed this descending triangle, which is usually a bullish signal. So we managed to break out of it, and that's a good thing. We had another triangle, falling triangle, that was formed earlier on, and we managed to break out of that one as well. And we went quite significantly up. If you remember, we were all the way down to 3,200 at the beginning of the year. This was at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. We were hovering around the 3,000 mark. And as soon as we broke out of this descending triangle, we managed to go quite fast, actually, up to the 8,000 level. Then we retested the earlier resistance, which was at 11. We broke out of that. We went all the way up to the 13,000 resistance, We didn't manage to break that, and then from that point we were going down. We were on another descending triangle, which we broke out now for the first time. And this is why many people are already talking about the 14k level. Now I first see that we will have a challenge with the 12k level. We will have to, this is the resistance here, we will have to actually break out of the 12k, and we might actually stumble here. So I'm not saying that we'll definitely be going to the 14k just yet, but generally the direction is there. And what we're seeing is actually a lot of volume coming in Bitcoin, something that is quite important. We're seeing here a lot of volume lately. In that last breakout we saw a lot of volume. This is oh, hold on, you can't actually see that. Let me what can I do? Yeah, let me move this up a little bit. Hopefully you can see it now. So there is a lot of volume that came up here with this breakout, and volume is an important indicator. Volume actually tells you that there is a lot of trading going on, there is a lot of interest also going on, there is a lot of money coming into that coin. In this case, this is Bitcoin. But it is not only Bitcoin that is having a lot of volume, and this is why I'm going to be talking about diversification and you know, getting into some altcoins so that you can be prepared for the next bull run. Because if you're in crypto, and even if you believe that Bitcoin is the main one, Bitcoin is the one that you really should be holding your money in, it's actually a good idea to diversify a little bit. And by that, I don't really mean going into altcoins, you know, fully, or you know, jumping quite spreading too thin, and you know, putting all of your money into different coins, and you know, keeping equal amount of capital into all of these coins. That's really not what I'm trying to say here. What you should actually do is the majority of your capital should be in Bitcoin, and I'm talking the majority of your crypto capital, not the majority of your overall capital. You know, if you are clever, you will be diversifying quite a bit, and Bitcoin and crypto should be just part of your portfolio, not all of it. Now, I'm personally quite heavily invested in crypto because I do believe in it, but this is me. That doesn't mean that you have to do the same. However, your crypto capital should be, the majority of it should be in Bitcoin. That's what I believe, because Bitcoin is the strongest one of all the cryptos. When something goes wrong, Bitcoin is always the one that actually resists much more than all of the other ones. And we can see that if we, let me hide my camera again, if we look at what is happening here, this tab here is the percentage change from the all-time high of the different coins. Now, this is the percentage change in Bitcoin, not in US dollar, but you will get the idea. So basically, apart from Bitcoin, which doesn't have a change because this is the price in Bitcoin, we see that Ethereum is down 86%, Ripple is down 87%, Bitcoin Cash is 90% down, Litecoin is 86% down. So what does that tell you? That these coins are really having quite a bad performance lately. However, that is about to change, and the fact that they're so low is good news for you guys, because if you are going to be diversifying now, you actually have a chance to be getting these coins quite low, quite cheap. And I'm thinking that it's a good idea to be thinking of diversifying already, mainly because I'm seeing these huge volumes that are coming in the altcoins lately. Look at what's happening now since July. And actually, July was another time when we had a surge, but then after that it went down again, and now we're having a surge in October. And now in the run-up to Christmas, I actually expect good things for the altcoins. Look at what's been before that. Look at these low volumes throughout 2018, early 2019. These are all really low volumes. This is when the market was really scared. You know, the people, traders, investors were really not feeling the altcoins. They were exiting altcoins. And now we're seeing this surge in volume in the last few months, in the last 3 months especially, quite a lot of volume in altcoins. Now, as I said, volume is important, and when you're thinking of diversifying, I personally would say go for the coins that are actually more safe. And the ones that are more safe are usually the ones that have a high market cap. That means the ones that are in the top here of the list of market cap. These are also coins that have big volumes. So this is important. They have big trading volume, which means that they are being traded daily in in high amounts, which is important for a coin. You don't really want your money to be in a coin that has a low trading volume, because that means that it doesn't really have much interest. Now, I know that many of you guys are looking into diversifying into some of those low market cap coins, low cap they're called, and that could be profitable, but it's also a very high risk, because the low cap coins are the ones that are not very popular. And if they're not very popular, you're running the risk of trying to sell a coin and there's not much volume, there's not much trading activity, and you're waiting. I actually have a few of those coins because I'm trading quite a lot of different coins, right? And even though I do like the high market cap coins, I also sometimes take risks and I go into low cap coins that are very obscure and not very known. Sometimes I do very well with them, and if I hit the jackpot, I would make 10x, 20x, whatever, but that's a risk, and I would say it's even more of a gamble rather than anything else. So that's not really how you should trade, especially if you don't have much experience. That's not something that I would recommend to you. I would recommend to you, for people who are not very experienced, stick to the coins that are in high volumes and high market cap, because these are the coins that also have proved themselves to be resisting in a market like that. Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, EOS. Binance actually had a great performance. Binance performed much better than anything else. We see that it's only, hold on, let me hide my camera again. It's only 50% retraced from its all-time high. And all of the other coins are minus 90, 80, whatever. But Binance is still a new coin. Also, there was a lot of development that happened with the Binance exchange lately, and that really pumped their coin. So, this is not necessarily indicative of a future performance. But also, let me point out here, Bitcoin SV also has a good performance, but Bitcoin SV is the newest coin of all of these here in the top 10, and it doesn't really have that much of a history in order to be comparing it to all of the other coins. When these coins were pumping, not Bitcoin Cash necessarily, but when Litecoin and Ripple and Ethereum were pumping in 2017, Binance and Bitcoin SV did not exist. Or Binance existed, but it had just started, so we don't really compare. So I would say, if you are looking into diversifying, and you should look into diversifying a little bit, you should allocate a small portion of your crypto capital into some of these coins. Why? Because right now they're actually quite low compared to Bitcoin as well. So even though your purpose would be to be growing your Bitcoin, or maybe your purpose is to be growing your fiat, your regular currency volume, this would actually help you, because whenever one of these coins doesn't perform very well, other coins might actually pick up. And we've seen that with Ripple, we've seen it with Ethereum and Litecoin, and even Bitcoin Cash. They have actually had some very good performance against Bitcoin in the past. Now, let me go here to Ripple, for instance. Let me show you what am I talking about. If we look at Ripple against US dollar, we can see that it had this huge pump, really vertical, quite a significant pump. And of course, it dumped straight away after that. It had such a significant retracing. And right now, it is very close to those levels that it was here before the last pump happened. Now, I'm not saying that exactly the same will happen again. I'm not saying that it has the potential to go to $4 as it did last time, but Ripple has had quite a lot of pumps in the past. And if I go back here, we will see that Ripple is actually one of those coins that is doing quite, strong jumps from, let's see here, from 1 cent, it went all the way to 42 cents. Like if you've got $1,000 here in a coin that was 1 cent and it goes to 42, this is 40 times the price. Imagine that. So Ripple is actually known to be doing these kind of pumps, and it's not something that you should ignore. I'm not really a fan of Ripple. It's not my favorite coin in terms of fundamentals, in terms of what it's doing. It is a banker's coin, and I'm not really saying you should actually invest in it. But in terms of trading and making money from these kind of price appreciation and price moves, you should definitely look into Ripple. And this is something that I discussed with a friend of mine, and this video was actually triggered by a chat that I had earlier with Alex, a friend of mine. Maybe he's watching right now, I'm not sure. I didn't actually check who is watching, so just hi to everyone who is watching me right now. You can actually say hi in the chat, or if you have any questions, place them in the chat. I will be keeping an eye, as I said. But yeah, I've actually done very well with Ripple in the past, and even though I don't really like the coin as as a crypto coin, I actually like it as a trading coin. Now let's see what's Ethereum doing and what it's done in the past. So if we compare it to Bitcoin, we've actually had Ethereum go quite high up against Bitcoin, all the way to 0.16 in fact, or 0.15, and right now look at where it is. It is at 0.02. Well, this is at the same level that it used to be, and it used to be at these same support levels where it is now. So right now Ethereum is at support level. Look at the volume, however. If you can see here, look at how much volume there is recently in Ethereum, and that was not the case just a few months ago. Beginning of 2019, the volume was not like that. Before that, in 2018, the volume was far less. So what does that tell you? Well, Ethereum is also going to wake up, and this is why, if you want to be growing your Bitcoin, I'm not saying Ethereum will be going again up to these levels. It will be reaching its all-time high, maybe not, but it will definitely be going up to be retesting these levels here, which is already twice the price of what it is right now, and this is against Bitcoin. It is very likely that it will be going to be retesting these levels here, which is 0.05. And it's even possible that it will be going to test at some point. If we have a strong bull run, it will go to retest these levels, and who knows, maybe even higher. So it is Ethereum is a very solid project. It has a very strong community, people who are holding Ethereum, people who believe in it. So many people actually are really strong supporters of Ethereum, which is good. You actually want a coin that has a strong support, and a coin that has a good community, a lot of holders, people who actually are not dumping it at the first opportunity. This is safer for you. Hello, future book. You're saying that you had a dream that Ethereum became a universal coin and killed Bitcoin. You know what? This was a dream back in 2017 when people were talking about the flippening, and that really never happened. But I mean, that is a good dream to have, but it's still just a dream. You realize that, right? Ethereum is in fact in accumulation zone. It's not finished yet. It is still at these really low support zones, and this is really the best time to be accumulating. This is why I'm doing this video, to draw your attention not only to Ethereum. Did I say Ripple again? Hopefully I said Ethereum. I keep calling it Ripple. Sorry about that. But it's not only Ethereum and Ripple that are both in accumulation. I mean, Ripple is in accumulation as well. At 3,100 Satoshi, Ripple is definitely in accumulation. This is a very good level to be buying it. And the only thing is, guys, make sure that if you are buying any of these coins, make sure you're not buying them when they are experiencing a temporary jump. Like for instance, Bitcoin Cash. In the last day, Bitcoin Cash is up 7.5%. That means this is not the time to be buying it. Because when you have this kind of a jump of 7%, it might even go to 10% or whatever, it will be followed by a correction. And you should be getting it in the correction, not right now. So the fact that I'm doing this video today doesn't mean you should go right now into the exchanges and buy, Ripple or Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash. Monitor it for a few days, see how it's performing, and find when is the best time for you to be buying it. I mean, Ethereum is typically a very good buy if it goes to $180 or even $160. Right now it's $190. Now, if the current bull trend is continuing and it's getting stronger and stronger, it might not really go to 180, so you might have to buy it higher than that. But they do go up and down. They don't only go up. So if it's 190 today, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get a chance to be buying it slightly cheaper. Or if you're looking at Bitcoin Cash, 288 today, or if you're looking in Bitcoin value, 0.030, that doesn't mean you're not going to get it cheaper. You might. So just monitor it and see when it's a good time. I mean, Bitcoin Cash has pumped 25% in the last week. So that's definitely not the best time to be buying it. It is still very cheap in both Bitcoin value and in dollar value. But it's, right now, today is not really the best time to buy it. Litecoin is another one that you should take more seriously. Litecoin is a coin that has actually performed very well in the past. And, right now at $60, this is a good buy. 10% in the last 7 days. Maybe you should wait a little bit and see whether you might be able to get it a little bit cheaper. But Litecoin right now is definitely at its lowest support levels. So it is, accumulation time for Litecoin. It's the same is with EOS. Binance is another coin that I have in my portfolio. I do like it. And it's performed really well in the last year. Future Book is talking about BSV going to 1,000. It is 140. This is the coin that is probably the least favorite of mine from all of the top 20 coins. But I must not ignore it, even though I have been ignoring it largely because of the fact that the people involved in that coin are kind of, the most manipulative and how to put it mildly, the antagonists of crypto. But nevertheless, this is in terms of purely in terms of trading. Bitcoin SV is another coin that you should not really ignore. And I am actually looking at it, and I am waiting for a entry point for me, because right now I'm not entering Bitcoin SV. I feel that it pumped quite a bit, 30% in the last week. I'm not really looking into buying it at this point, but I am monitoring it, and it's one of those coins that if I see a good drop and a good entry point, I will actually even get some Bitcoin SV, however much I dislike it. Tron is a good coin, Stellar, Cardano, Monero, Chainlink. All of these are coins that are actually good coins. Chainlink had a great performance over the last 6 months. It actually reached an all-time high not long ago, and it's retraced. It's now going back. So it is slightly expensive right now at 2.70 in terms of dollar value, but it still has potential to grow much more. But monitor it, don't buy it just yet. See if you can get it slightly cheaper. I'm personally waiting to get another entry in Chainlink because I did sell it when it was pumping the last time, and I don't have any Chainlink right now. Neo actually performed quite well over the last week, 44%. I did sell some of them, and I see that now it's down by 5%. So I'm not really in a rush to be buying new at this point, but I actually still have some more to sell. Now, Dash, one of my favorite coins, is not really performing very well, unfortunately. However, it is also in accumulation phase, so it could actually wake up. And I'm not really buying Dash at this point because I've been accumulating it over the last couple of years. It's one of those that I'm actually using in a longer term. But all of these coins that I mentioned, and even here, Ontology, Ethereum Classic, Name, arguably, Basic Attention, these are coins that you should take more seriously, and you should, if you're diversifying, you should put some money into different coins. But again, the majority is still Bitcoin, right? The king is Bitcoin. If you depending on how much capital you've allocated to your crypto, if you've allocated a large amount of money, you might want to diversify into a few different coins. If you've allocated a small amount of money, something like $1,000, then there's not really that much for you to be going into too many different coins. But what I'm saying is that Bitcoin will perform very well, but some of those altcoins will actually wake up and will be going to be retesting their resistance levels, and they will actually perform. Some of them will have a better performance, so it might be a good idea to diversify a little bit. And this is pretty much anything that I wanted to say here. If you haven't got an exchange that is trading altcoins, if you've only got Bitcoin because you bought it from a couple of wallets that are actually just trading Bitcoin or something like that, you might want to look into an exchange that trades altcoins. I do have links in the description box below to a few of the exchanges that I'm personally using. I don't really know where you are located. Some of those exchanges, unfortunately, are not really working with US customers. For instance, Bitfinex is no longer working with US customers. I see that Bittrex is also now changing, and they will have a new website from, I think, from tomorrow or a couple of days from now. They will have a new website. So that might be also, again, something that is restricting US customers. I like Qcoin, for instance, and Binance. These are exchanges. Binance is doing a US platform, so you will be able very soon to be trading on Binance as well. Qcoin so far doesn't really have the restrictions, so you can use that. The link is also in the description box. I also have tutorials about Qcoin and Binance, how to get started, how to trade, getting used to the interface and everything. So you can check these videos out. I will link them in the description box. I didn't think of that. So this is basically what I'm personally thinking now. Futurebook is asking me any chance if IOTA can go to $3. To be frank, I haven't analyzed IOTA. I haven't paid attention to it since 2018. So it's really been quite some time that I haven't really checked what's it doing, because I stopped trading it more than a year ago, and I haven't really gotten back into it, and it's not even in my favorites now. I'm just scrolling down to see if it's here in my favorites. It's not, so I can't really tell you much about IOTA, I'm afraid. But there are many people who actually do videos that are dedicated to these different altcoins. This was not really the purpose of this video. I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that the altcoin market in general is waking up, that there is a lot of volume coming in it, and with that, I'm actually seeing a potential of altcoins performing quite well in the next bull run, whenever that is to happen. It is still yet to happen. It's not completely confirmed, but we did break out of this descending triangle. This is good news. The question is now whether this was a fake out or a real breakout, and whether we will be continuing in that trend. I don't think it was a fake out, and with approaching of Christmas, and December is usually a good month for the crypto in general, but for Bitcoin definitely. So this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm expecting. Again, do your own research, check out some other videos on YouTube, and what other people are saying. Don't only take me don't only take my word, but definitely I am seeing some good signs that we will be having a good performance of Bitcoin over the next few months. Also, don't forget that there is the halving actually. I don't know why we keep calling it halving. This is incorrect. The word is halving, and I'm trying to see whether I have here the website easy to no, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. So this is a website that is actually doing a countdown to the next halving. So right now we have 197 days. So less than 200 days left until the next halving. This is how the word is spelled, and this is how it should be pronounced. Many people call it halvening. This is incorrect. Halving. And as we know, in the run-up to the halving, there will be some pumps happening with Bitcoin. Now, many people think that when the halving happens, this is when Bitcoin price will go up a lot. Mark my word, it will not happen. The actual bull run will happen in the month, or maybe even in the 8 weeks prior to the halving, and somewhere around 4 or 3 weeks before the halving, it will subside. The hype will subside, and in the last couple of weeks before the halving, when all of the newbies and all of the inexperienced people will think, oh yeah, let's buy now it's gonna be the real pump, this is when everything will go really flat, if not even down. Now, this is what happened last time. China was pumping Bitcoin all the way up until 2 weeks before the halving, and in the last couple of weeks before the halving, it stopped. And as soon as the volume stopped, the whole hype really popped down, and it subsided. So this is most likely what's going to happen again, because the experienced traders are not going to be buying Bitcoin when it's really close to the halving. They will be preparing the month or even 2 months prior to that. So let's see if I'm gonna be right. Of course, I'm speculating here, and I'm talking about from past experience. It's not necessarily that history will repeat itself, but it's quite likely. We saw it with Litecoin as well. If you remember, Litecoin had a halving in when was I in Bali? June? I think it was in June. Let me see if we can see it here. Oh yeah, so exactly, mid-June was the halving of Litecoin, sorry. And I think the actual halving was at the end, I think it was somewhere here, at the beginning of July or something like that. But what I remember is that it actually pumped in the last few weeks prior to the halving, and in the last few days, the last week actually, before the actual halving, it started going down. And since then, it's actually been going down. So since the halving of Litecoin, it has been in a steady decline. And it's very likely that something similar will happen to Bitcoin. The actual pump will be happening prior to the halving, but not in the last few days or week. It will be at least 2 or 3 weeks before that halving. It will stop, and it will not really go up after that. So this is what my projection is, and this is how I'm going to conclude this video. This is pretty much everything that I wanted to share with you today. I'm not really seeing any questions, which means that you guys are enjoying this, and there's nothing really that I need to reply to. Again, if there's anything that you want to ask here, please let me know. I am giving you another opportunity to, type in any questions. I see that I have quite a few viewers online today, and I appreciate that. I'm really grateful for it. Okay, no questions? That's fine. Well, thank you guys for watching until the end, and I will try to announce the next live prior, quite in advance, so that you can actually be prepared. By the way, catch my next episode of Crypto Corner. It's not going to be live. It will be an interview with the main developer of a private coin called Zen. If you know, the project used to be called Zencash. It is now called Horizon, and they've got some new development going on. This is a coin that I've been monitoring since the beginning, since it actually forked out of Z Classic, which was a coin that I was trading, and for me it was great because I got some Zen for free, and it became one of my favorite coins very quickly. It is a privacy coin, and I do actually like it because I managed to get in touch with the development team, and I'm they're basically friends of mine, not necessarily friends, but I'm keeping friendly with them, and I'm keeping in touch with their developments and everything. I know that these are people quite serious about this project, so this is why I like it, unlike some other projects that kind of forked out of something, made a few quick pumps, and then the developers kind of abandoned this project. This is actually a project with a strong development team, and this is why I like it. So I will be doing an interview with them to check on what is the latest development, and they have a new white paper and everything, so that will be posted probably on Thursday. And then on Friday, I'm posting the next episode of Crypto Jargon, which I've already posted on my YouTube, so you can actually check this out and you can be alerted when it's coming. It is going to be on Friday, and it will be around 2 p.m. Central European time. Right, so this is everything for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Well, thank you for being here. If you learned something today, consider subscribing to this channel, or if you're already subscribed, please hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I'm posting a new video. This is how you can show your support. I'm not asking for donations, so this is really your way to support this channel. Also here you will find links to my social media accounts, so find me on social media and let's get connected.